Hi and welcome back. With a single command, you can scan entire networks, see which ports are open, and even spot vulnerabilities that can be exploited. This is the power of Nmap, a free and essential tool for hackers and everyone else in the IT world. Nmap is used in the first phase of a penetration test, reconnaissance, the information gathering phase.
FBI, open up!
First, let's download Metasploitable 2 from Vulnerabilities. It comes with many installed services, lots of open ports, and it's perfect for demonstration purposes in a video. You win. There it is. What's the fastest way to download this? Probably the mirror. Let's do that on the desktop. There you go. Extract it. Every time it's a little bit different. This is a VMDK, so it's probably been developed with VMware, but fear not. Let's see if I remember this. Okay, let's create a new machine, call it Metasploitable 2. It's Linux. Subtype, it's Debian. It's certainly Debian. Next, you don't need to give it more than 2 gigabytes really. Virtual disk, nope. Use an existing virtual hard disk file. We should be able to attach it. Click on add. Desktop. There you go. Choose. Next. Finish. Go to settings. $128 megabytes of video memory. It's really not necessary because it's just a teletype. Set it to bridged so that it can communicate with the other machines in the network. We'll need this. Okay, start it and pray that it works. And of course it does. Machines fear me. Username and password to access the machine are msftpd and msftpd. Check if you're on the same subnet as Kali. Well, that's no good. That's localhost. Should be 192.168.110. It should be our subnet. Now let's just start Kali. Note this down, it's 110. Yeah, we're in the same subnet. If we didn't have credentials to manually check the address of the vulnerable machine, as often happens in CTFs, we can use instead netdiscover. Sudo netdiscover. Kali is the password, of course. Control C. There it is. It's usually very easy to recognize which machines have been downloaded from Vulnerabilities because they always have this Mac vendor host name, which is PCS System Technic GmbH. Let's start with the most basic Nmap usage. Nmap followed by the IP address. By default, Nmap scans the 1,000 most common ports without being too aggressive. Always remember sudo if you want it to behave correctly. Sudo nmap. Quite a lot comes up, and each of these services is very likely vulnerable. After all, that's the purpose of the machine, of Metasploitable. It's a collection of services we can hack with either Metasploit, which we'll do in one of the next videos, or we can do that manually. Before moving on to Nmap's options for gathering more information about the target, I want to focus on a very important concept, which is noise. Noise is the amount of traffic generated by penetration testing tools. The more noise there is, the higher the chance that the scan will be detected by firewalls and intrusion detection systems, also known as IDS. Let's launch Wireshark, which is a network analysis tool, to see what kind of traffic a normal scan usually generates. Press the super key, Wireshark, click on Ethernet 0, then press up and launch the scan again. See, these are all the connections that are being made from our machine, which is 112, to the other 110, and vice versa. Stop the scan. It could look suspicious. More than 2,000 packets sent in just a few seconds. You can see the number of packets sent here on the bottom right. I don't know if we can see it, but it says packets 2,126. But all in all, considering normal traffic from other IPs, it might be able to blend in. Nmap has a throttle option, actually called the Nmap timing template, -t with values from 1 to 5. All of the Nmap options are listed in the manual. Man nmap / and look for -t, and for the next one, and there it is. There are 5 values. The first 2 are aimed at evading IDS, as I mentioned earlier. Let's try running the scan again with a timing template of 1 instead. Press Q to exit, press up with a timing template of 1 this time. Start a new scan. Stop it. Start a new scan. Launch it. See how packets are sent much more slowly. The operations that Nmap is going to perform here are exactly the same. It'll just take more time. Press enter while Nmap is running to see how much time has passed and how much is left before the scan is complete. About 0.10% done. This is going to take a while. Plus, see here on the bottom right, 168 packets have been sent until now. It's very slow. Took a couple of seconds earlier. This way the scan will be harder to detect, but it will take ages, obviously. Press Ctrl C to stop the scan. Stop Wireshark. Now let's go in the opposite direction. Let's do the noisiest scan possible, scanning all parts with the highest timing template, also trying to detect other information about the operating system in use. So it'll be sudo nmap O for operating system, -p for all parts, T for timing template of 5, and then the IP will be the same. Launch Wireshark again. Continue without saving. Start it. Ooh, what's happening here? My God. Well, that was fast. Over 130,000 packets in just a few seconds. Virtue lies in the middle, as an ancient Italian proverb goes. In medio stat virtus. Not only for IDS evasion. Sometimes penetration tests are done on unstable test servers with few resources, and launching such aggressive Nmap scans while running other tools could crash the whole shebang. That can mean economic loss for the client or having to contact them to bring the server back up. A real mess. David, I know you're a sophisticated guy. The word's a mess. The word is an angry place. The previous command, stop this. The previous command, -O enables operating system detection. -P scans all of the ports from the 0 to 65,535, and -T5 is the most aggressive timing template, called insane. I guess it was called insane because it is quite insane. Let's take a look at another couple of options for banner grabbing, that is identifying the version of the services we found. So let's do another Nmap scan for port 21, for example. So the Nmap port 21 SV, uppercase V, for the version of the service on that port. I think we can close Wireshark. This way, we've only scanned port 21, or FTP, the file transfer protocol. It usually listens there, but as always, it can be customized. Memorizing the default ports for services in networking courses is just stupid. Just like changing the default port, hoping that hackers don't find it. Even more stupid. It's called security through obscurity. It's an anti-pattern. And the -S uppercase V option instead, of course, identifies the service's version number, which is vsftpd 2.3.4, like we read here. We can look it up with, we can see if there are vulnerabilities with the search exploit command, search exploit vsftpd 234. And we see there's a backdoor we could exploit manually or via Metasploit. Search exploit is a mirror of exploit-db.com. It's a directory that contains all publicly available exploits and attack techniques for breaking into systems, getting more information out of them, or conducting denial of service attacks. Let's see if the vulnerability can be exploited with Nmap scripts. But first, the sponsor for this video. I'm now on Teachable. As for the menu, do you want to learn how to use Metasploit like a pro? Do you want to conduct professional penetration tests? Exploit vulnerabilities manually, like the deserialization ones? Learn Bash and Vim quickly? Join thousands of students already enrolled on the Teachable platform. The link is in the description. Support your incredible career and become number 1337.
Hide the planet! Hide the planet! Shut up and get in the car!
I want to thank myself for sponsoring myself. Thank you so much. You're so smart and handsome, aggressive yet elegant and stylish. And to it's so stupid. And to wrap up, let's talk about Nmap scripting engine scripts. These are scripts you can run to get more information on the services found. Not for all of them, but they can help in some cases. You can even write your own, if you're so inclined, I guess. They're found in the user share Nmap scripts folder. We'll list the storage, we get the contents of the folder with ls, then we pipe it to grep so that we filter them out with ftp, so that we only get the ftp, the files that contain ftp. ls, you get all of them. ls-1, you get all of them, one per line, but there are too many. So we do ls pipe grep ftp, and we get all of those that start or contain the word ftp, right? So we find this script that identifies if vsftpd is vulnerable, which is just shows the contents of the file in a new screen, let's call it. ftp vs tab to autocomplete, right? And if you read here, it says that this one tests for the presence of the vsftpd 2.3.4 backdoor reported on this date. And it also attempts to exploit the backdoor using the ID code command by default. So it'll just return a true positive, a positive. That's redundant, true positive. It'll just return a positive if it worked. Now, to run it with nmap, we'll have to use the -- script option. So sudo nmap on port 21, the IP was 110, and then we add the option script ftp-ves, then asterisk. The asterisk matches the file starting with ftp-vs in the folder we saw earlier. This is just a Linux wildcard. We'll see this later on in a new course on Linux if you still haven't much experience with Linux to begin with. We see that it tells us that it's vulnerable and that the vulnerability is exploitable. This means that if we exploit this, we'll gain access, remote access to the system. See here, exploit results, shell command ID. ID is, let's do this on our machine. If you type ID, it'll return all of the users on the machine, but we've been able to execute this command on the remote machine. So we executed a command remotely. This is remote command execution. In bug bounty programs, this means money, okay? Lots of money. And the result is UID root and group ID root. So it's root. Couldn't be worse than this. Total, complete control over the machine. And that's everything for this video, but stay until the end because there's a surprise. And that's the end of this introductory video on Nmap. In a future video, we will probably take a look at its other options. Nmap is certainly one of the tools in penetration testing, but no, it's actually one of the most important ones, being the information gathering phase, the most important phase of them all in a penetration test. If you aren't aware of the full extent of the attack surface, which is a technical term to say what is there and what isn't there, how can you even think about checking if the services are vulnerable if you don't even know if they are there or not? Nmap is just one of the tools available, but it's been, for many years now, one of the most important ones in our arsenal. We'll see many other tools in the coming days, weeks, months, and years, so subscribe. In the next video, we'll use the Metasploit framework to exploit a couple of vulnerable services, the ones we scanned with Nmap in this video. So thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Okay, then let's own this. These are the arguments if you reread the file contents of the file we saw earlier with the last command. But you don't have to do that. I'll just type this out. So we use the script as before because we can use this either to verify if the vulnerable service is actually vulnerable, but also to exploit it and get a connection to our machine. As an argument, it takes cmd. We'll give it a simple command, which is omi, to return the username. If it returns it, then it works, but it does because it also did earlier, but we want to be able to define custom commands now, and then we'll move to a netcat connection. Okay, let's do this. Okay, now the shell command is the one we defined earlier. So custom commands work. It's the correct syntax to pull this off. But how can we obtain a connection to this machine? We can use a tool usually defined as the networking Swiss Army knife, netcat. We'll cover netcat deeply in the future. It's all immediately available in the InfoSec bundle, of course. But yeah, netcat works this way. Now let's change it up. There are some spaces in the command, so it's best to use single quotes. We want to connect to Kali on port. This is its IMP, it's 112. On port 4444, doesn't matter which one it is. And then execute bin sh, which is a terminal, just a shell. So we want that the vulnerable machine establishes a connection towards ours on Kali. Ctrl-Shift-T to open a new terminal tab on our machine. We will instead listen for the incoming connection on the same port. MC for netcat-lvp 4444. Launch the command. And if we get back to netcat locally, we'll see that it connected to our machine from the Metasploitable station, which is 110 to 112. This is a terminal on the remote machine. We pawned it. Root, which is bad, very bad. ls. This is the Metasploitable file system. Let's see what's in there. And these are the users on the machine. Let's see what other users are there on the machine. MySQL, Tomcat, all of the normal, and also the service users. Very cool, right?